Dave Halacki bought a business that was owned by his father, but when he took over the business, he didn't have the knowledge he needed to run the company. So Dave decided to bring in our team of business experts to build a better foundation for his business.
Hi, I'm Dave Halacki. I own H&H Service Company. We're a full-service residential commercial HVAC company. We've been in business for 47 years. I bought the business a year ago from our founder, my dad, and we have 20 employees. I'm a retired fighter pilot who spent 23 years blowing stuff up and breaking things. Running a service company that's responsible for fixing things is complicated enough. I already knew I had limited knowledge of how business works. When Kevin Parker rolled in here and showed me all the things that we were missing as a business, that big businesses were doing to be successful, I was baffled at how our company could have been so successful for so long with 47 years of bad habits. At that point, I knew I needed to do something different. As a result of my time with the consultants, I'm a sophisticated business owner today. I didn't know anything when I bought this business. What I bought was Dad's company. We did sales, we did service. We had a centerpiece of the operation who I thought was the most important part of what we did, and we ran the business by how much cash was in the checking account, what did we owe, what did people owe us. If there was cash below a certain amount, we didn't spend money. If there was cash above a certain amount, time to pay bonuses to the owner. 47 years ago, that might have been a way to run a business. 3 months after spending time with the consultants, I can now speak to you in a business vernacular. They showed me that what I thought was 2 lines of business is really 7 lines of business. The consulting team showed me that 15% of our annual revenue was tied up in accounts receivable, that we had customers paying 6-7 months after the fact, that we weren't charging finance charges. We had a backlog of invoicing delays. We couldn't even send the invoice out, in some cases for 90 days. Why was that? Because we had no organization. Bora came in and we spent days at this very board drawing and redrawing and redrawing, and I fought him every step of the way. I was convinced what Dad told me was right. By the end of it, I understood what Bora was saying. Today, we've got a finance portion of the business, we've got operations, and we've got sales. And those of you who work with these consultants, you'll understand that model. Inside our operations, we've actually got 4 lines of business where we thought we only had 1. Inside of our sales operation, we've got 3 lines of business today where we thought we only had 1. Each one of those lines of business has different control measures, has different accountabilities, has different costing strategies, and I understand it all today because of what I learned from Bora, Daryl, and the rest of the consulting team. Today, we're half as much in receivables. We cut it in half. We cut our receivable days down by almost 2 months. It takes us 2 days to get invoices out, not 90 days. I'll tell you that a week ago, we sent out an invoice from over a year ago because it took us that long to figure out what the heck was going on in our accounting scheme. And today, when people show up late and they continue to show up late, they pay for it. We don't continue to absorb that cost. 6 months ago when I met these consultants, I couldn't have told you what any of these words mean. Today, when I talk to people, I throw these diagrams up there and I talk to people about the sophisticated things that I've learned that big businesses are doing, and colleagues with comparable sized businesses are shocked that I understand what I understand. They ask me, how did you learn this? I didn't find it on my own. I couldn't have done it without this consulting team. When I bought this business, I made the same mistake a lot of business owners make. I spent so much time focused on working in the business that I didn't know how to work on the business. I was so busy working at the tactical level of mission strike and satisfying this customer's needs and trying to get the school fixed before 10 o'clock at night so they didn't have to cancel school the next day, that I wasn't doing anything with trying to grow the business. Thankfully, Bora and the rest of the consulting team recognized that I had a whole warehouse of sales opportunities that we had engaged in the last 47 years. Bora brought me back to realizing that now that we had the correct structure in place for our business, now that we had the correct controls in place, it was time for me to grow the business in the most cost-effective way, and that was go back to what we used to do so well in sales. Not everything I learned from the consultants was pure business and numbers. The worst thing you can have in business is a blind spot, or have an assumption that is so invalid that it crushes your business when you figure out that it's really not true. I had one. Our finance manager had been with us for 12 years. She inherited the finance responsibilities from a superstar who retired, and she was underqualified and incapable of doing the job. And as a young business owner with no business skills, I lacked the capacity to see it. Because of Darryl Walter's prodding, I went out and I hired a temp, an account temp, to come in and pick up the new skills that we were adding to the company, to this fancy new model, this 21st century model that this person was going to take months to learn. Once we had the account temp in, it suddenly became obvious that this person who we loved, who we cared deeply about, and who we respect her hard work, was the wrong person for our company. I would have never known that was a problem until it was unrecoverable, but for what I learned from the consultants. This is my dad and our founder, Ken Hutchison. There are 50 people between these two companies who owe it all to him. In 1967, Dad and his business partner, Bill Healy, started an HVAC sales company. Mr. Healy, ever the elegant gentleman, an All-American football player at Boston College, went on to be a diesel engineer in the United States Navy, and he was on the submarine, second in command on the submarine that led the USS Missouri into Tokyo Harbor for the Japanese surrender in World War II. My dad's been north of the Yalu River in Korea. Admittedly, he was going a little faster coming south than he was going north, but he and his brother had a nice reunion at Incheon in the 1952-1953 timeframe. This is our founder, and I am so thankful that I had the support of the consultants to continue a legacy founded in honesty, founded in hard work, and founded in respect for people and love of the people you work with. I'm so glad I did this. And I'm so thankful for the encouragement of Kevin Parker and Thomas Hager to help me take this leap of faith. As a fighter pilot, I've been shot at a few times in my life. And quite honestly, this was a scary moment. This was a challenging decision. And now that I've been there and done it, I realize that the consultants have turned me in from a really phenomenal problem solver, which I had been for 23 years prior, into a sophisticated business manager. Suddenly, instead of just reacting to what's going on in the business, I'm forecasting cash. I'm building a plan to grow, and I'm building a way to pile on and preserve my dad's legacy.
One of the most important things a business owner needs is a trusted advisor to help him navigate the challenges he will face. Dave Hlatke took an unexpected phone call that turned into a long-term relationship with our company as his trusted advisor.
2.5 years ago, I made the greatest mistake I've ever made. I took a cold call from a guy named James Stevenson from IDS, thinking he was my dad's lifelong friend, Larry Stevenson from EDS. And what unfolded 2.5 years later is a business education and business success that I can't even put into words. I sleep better at night, my family is safe, my company is in its second generation and is going to live long into its third generation. 2.5 years ago, I was a retired fighter pilot who couldn't tell you the difference between gross and net profit. Today, we're seeing profitability in our company like we've never seen. I now don't just own the company, I now am part owner of the building, and my new biggest problems are how to pay all the taxes and how to put an addition on this building to accommodate all of our expanded business. Consulting is so much more than just a new accounting system. We touched everything in this company. We changed our email logo, we changed our telephone systems, and we changed the way our building looks. 2.5 years ago, there was no logo on the side of this building, and that glass door was solid brown and it said parts, and you walked in the warehouse. Today, when you walk into our brand, you walk into a state-of-the-art office facility with high-tech monitors for where the trucks are in the field, and in a company that feels entirely different than it did 2 years ago. Consulting for us was so much more than just changing an accounting system. Our business is thriving because we take care of our customers for the life cycle of their equipment. My consulting engagement has been incredibly successful because the consultants have done the same thing for me. 2.5 years ago, I needed to learn business. I needed to learn the business of running a business. Along the way, there have been a few hiccups, and every time I reach out for help, I got help. Today, we're as profitable as we've ever been, and now we're really using the entity restructuring and the tax plans that the consultants put in place for us 2.5 years ago. Small business isn't easy, and there's no guarantees that you're ever going to be successful. But when you know the business of the business, at least you have a chance, and at least you understand what's going on around you, and you're able to make real decisions that will improve the success of your business.